Welcome to North Stand State Park. My name is April, and I'm so glad y'all are here for the holiday homecoming. When you think about the holidays and special events and celebrations, what do y'all think about? Candles. Candles. Okay, well, I think about presents and blessings and being thankful. And during this holiday season, I think about a very special birth. Well, when I think about birth dates, I also think about my birthday. And I think about candles. Well, as we approach the end of this year and the new year, we also approach a very special birthday with Tennessee State Parks. Do you know how old Tennessee State Parks are turning next year? Oh, 75 years old.
Oh. I would have been wrong. That's not 700.
It's going to be our diamond anniversary next year. So with those things in mind, I wanted to show you all about candles and why they're so important. When I think about a candle, I think about it burning the oxygen that is our life-giving air, what we need to survive. Because without oxygen, the flame, just like the flames in the fire, can't survive. And we all have internal flames. Those are our passions and our dreams, our hopes, our goals for tomorrow. So when you think about birthdays, do you think about blowing out a candle and snuffing out your dreams and your hopes? No, when you blow out a candle, what do?
Your hand sticks up.
You make a wish, exactly. Well, ironically, in history, they didn't blow out candles to make a wish because their candles were not made of paraffin wax like we're using today. They were made out of animal fat or tallow. And when burned, it smelled really bad and gave off a very black, dense smoke. It didn't burn clean. So the first candles that were made in the New World, especially in the Tennessee frontier, were made out of animal fat. And at that time, there weren't a lot of livestock in Tennessee. So where do you think they got the animal fat from? They didn't have a lot of cows or pigs or sheep. Where did that tallow or fat come from? Y'all are welcome to come join us if you like. Where did the fat come from?
Possums, maybe?
Possums? Maybe. What other things do you think people hunted on the frontier? Deer. And bear. And this whole area in Tennessee was considered the great hunting ground of the Cherokee. So women on the frontier would actually go in the fall after slaughter, after there was a hunt, and they would render the fat down over a fire, and the fat would be used to make candles. Well, there are two different kinds of candles. Historically speaking, there would have been dipped candles, like what we're going to do today, or candles made out of some molds. And a mold is kind of like maybe a pie tin. And so they would have been made out of wood or tin, some kind of metal, and then they would have poured the wax in. So there are two different ways. The dipping was very time consuming, and because it was fat, animal fat, it was burning, it was very smelly, tedious, time consuming work. How many of y'all burn candles in your houses today? Do you think about what was involved in making the candle or in lighting the candle? You know, friction matches weren't invented until 1827. And in the Tennessee frontier, they didn't have electricity or flashlights. They didn't have charcoal or lighter fluid or matches or lighters. So they would have had to use flint and steel to start a spark to make a fire. So it's really important that we learn how blessed we are and that their celebrations ended up being a lot of work. Candles were only used for special occasions. Most of the time people would have used oil lamps, the oil being the fat rendered. But candles were made and kept only for special occasions. So do y'all want to make a candle? We're gonna make some birthday candles. This is the dipping candle. It's a taper. It starts narrow and works down. These wicks, these are made out of cotton. In the olden days, they would have taken cotton, carded it, and then twisted the cotton fibers from the plant, the cotton seed, and made that wick. Then at the bottom, they would have put a washer sometimes, something to weigh it down and keep it straight as they were dipping it. Today, I don't think we'll have to have washers because we're trying to make those birthday candles for the 75th birthday cake of Tennessee State Park. So let me move the wax over here so y'all can get to it without getting hurt. It's very, very hot. And if y'all want to take a wick that I've just attached to a popsicle stick and write your name on it, that way, while it's cool and while you're on the wagon ride, you can come back and you'll know which one is yours. And again, this is paraffin wax. Paraffin's actually made from oils, from vegetables, and different kinds of fruits. It's an additive. A lot of times you find it outside the coating of different fruits and vegetables. That's what's so important that you always wash things before you eat them. How many of y'all like chocolate?
Who doesn't?
I know. Right. Well, chocolate, sometimes it's kind of shiny on the outside, and the reason being is they use paraffin in chocolate to make it hold up at room temperature. So it is edible, but please don't eat it here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask y'all to just stand up and gather around our melted paraffin, and you're going to take your wick, dip it in, and then remove it and let it cool. And we'll just go in a circle around the table, so we'll continuously move, and by the time you get around to the paraffin wax again, it should have dried. Again, be very careful and don't touch the metal. So y'all go for it. And slowly but surely more and more wax will be added on. And if y'all just want to move around the table so that by the time we reach it again, it will have cooled. If we continually dipped the wick in constantly, it would just remelt the wax we just added to our wick. That's why it's so important that we dip it and let it cool. And gravity is used here, making that taper effect. So when I think of all 75 candles that would be on the Tennessee State Park birthday cake this coming year, I think of 75 accomplishments or people's dreams or their visions that created the Tennessee State Park system. So, do y'all believe that one person can make a difference? Absolutely. And do you believe that we should let our flames burn out?
No.
So I see the flame and the candle as a celebration of ourselves, of what we can accomplish, our dreams, our hopes, our goals. And I hope that we'll add a number of additional candles to that big birthday cake.
Good job.
How are we doing? Are they building up any?
I like
Triple, dear. Mine is now.
Okay.
Let's say
Y'all promise to be careful. Everybody stand around our wax here and dip repeatedly because this is what we're looking for. And you just have to push your way on in there. Be the spark. That's right.
April.
Yours is looking better than mine. Look at yours on good.
Pull it out.
I wouldn't have even given us a frontier one on this for sure.
So how many of y'all have ever heard the old gospel, This Little Light of Mine?
Yeah.
Well, if y'all like to sing along, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, look, what are you doing? And whenever y'all feel like you've gotten the width that you want, just let me know, and we will slide the popsicle stick between the opening, the gaps of this table, and it'll cool and dry while you go on your wagon ride, and be here waiting on you when you get back. Imagine how time-consuming this would have been if it takes us this long to make a candle that small. Is everybody happy with your finished product? Keep on dipping, my dear. Keep on dipping.
Yeah, that looks good.
And I'm going to just hang mine right here, and it'll be waiting for me when I return.
Don't leave it in here alone, okay?
Does anybody have any questions? Well, I sure hope that y'all will continue to enjoy the holidays and the celebration and special events tonight. And that I hope that y'all enjoy the upcoming birthday that we celebrate the season for, and the upcoming birthday of Twin